Hey, this is Jason Statler, NPC middleweight bodybuilder. I'm 5'9.5". My stage weight's 176. Off-season weight's 200. My last show was the NPC Western Michigan. I placed first in the true novice, first in novice middle, and fourth in the open middleweight.
Okay, but what show are you getting ready for now?
I'm currently 3 weeks out from the NPC John Simmons Classic.
Okay. Now, that was your first show you competed in last year?
Yes, the first show was last November. We started off with some pull-up movements. I like to start out with pull-ups because they can give a good stretch to the muscle fiber. I feel like it activates the muscles before you're getting into actual weighted movement. So we started off with some traditional pull-ups, and then we moved to more of a narrow pull-up that will target the middle of the back. I like to do those beforehand to get the blood pumping, and then I can get a little bit of extra blood in there for the weighted movements.
Okay, and what was next, buddy?
I think we went over to dumbbell rows next, and this is a traditional old school, lift. I like this movement because you can actually control the weight with one arm and focus on pulling toward your waist. And I like pulling toward my waist because it works a little bit of the lower lat, and you can get a good stretch on the movement as well. Next, we went over to a low cable pull. This works the middle part of your back, and I really like this movement because when you're going into a rear lat spread, I like to push my arms back first to sort of display the Christmas tree area of your back. And I feel like this lower cable pull really helps develop that area. Again, with all of these workouts, especially this close to a show, I'm more focused on range of motion and stretching the muscle fibers than I am with weight.
Now, in your normal off season, are you more high repetition? Or
Yes. Yep. In an off season, I focus on a lot of hypertrophy, which ends up being a lot of volume work. So I became more of a fan of what's called GVT, or German volume training. This off season, given it was a short off season, you'll do one compound movement per body part per day, but you'll do a 10 by 10 set and rep count with about 65 to 70% of your max. So, if it's quad day for me, I'd be doing 10 by 10 on squats and then hitting some lighter positional movements and auxiliary movements to work sort of the smaller parts of your leg. But I am a big fan of volume in the off season. Unfortunately, right now though, with a prep, your energy levels are depleted. Some of that energy needs to be focused toward your cardio, and so you try to work efficiently. And I feel like a lot of the stretching and time under tension as well helps me work efficiently in a contest prep. Our next movement, we went over to a traditional barbell row. This is another old school, time-tested lift. And I like pulling to my waist. I feel like it works the lower part of your lat as well. However, when you go to a full range of motion, you're going to full arm extension. As you'll see in the video, you end up with a full back workout with a barbell row. So again, I'm trying to focus on stretching the fibers, getting the blood in there, and working as efficiently as I possibly can in the time that I have. Okay, yeah. Our first movement when we moved over to biceps was an incline dumbbell curl. This is another good start to any arm workout simply because you're getting the blood in there. This wasn't a big exertion. We didn't use a whole lot of weight, but what we did was we hit the angles, and so we try to keep our arms as tight to your chest as possible, and you will go to full extension on your incline dumbbell curl. We next moved over to the hammer curl. This is a big movement for developing the bronchi, which is a small muscle that will run kind of in the middle of your bicep. And as you start to get lean, when you can develop that, it gives your side chest a really nice look because you have a muscle that essentially splits your bicep that comes out. And so I always try to incorporate this into any contest prep workout when I'm hitting arms, simply because the more development that you can get there, it'll give you one extra thing to stand apart from the crowd. So I really try to focus on doing at least 3 sets of these when I hit arms.
This was one of those things that seemed to grow for you easily?
Right. I am a firm believer that every individual will have some genetic blessing in some part of their body, be it their legs, their arms. Some guys have a really nice chest. Some guys, as we were talking, have really just amazing calves. And I think for whatever reason, I was blessed, call it genetics, whatever it is, to have some good arms. And so I don't necessarily focus on trying to grow them. I try to focus on trying to sculpt them and shape them. But it was just one of those muscle groups that just always was kind of there for me.
Good deal. And what was your next movement on arms?
Our next movement was a concentration curl, and this is going to be another one of the old school movements where you're isolating the bicep. I really feel like concentration curls will help build a nice peak to your arms. So again, another sculpting movement, but you're trying to put as much tension as you can. And as you'll see, some of my reps, I'll actually slow down and go to more 4-second tempo counts where I'm contracting at the top for a good peak. And so I try to incorporate these into a bicep workout toward the end so that as my arm gets exhausted, I can use a little bit lighter weight, but I can still focus on developing a nice shape to the arm itself. Our last movement was a cable curl. And I like this because you can finish up with just an all-out blast. And cables aren't exactly the most strenuous exercises, but what they can do is they can get blood flow going, and at the end of your workout, when you're really exerted and exhausted, it's a nice finishing movement. It gets a lot of blood to the area, and I feel like it is just a nice way to finish off a hard arm workout.
Yeah. And you said even off-season right now, as you're prepping, you're pretty fast with the workout.
Yes, yeah, I'm a firm believer in high intensity. What I like to do is I like to rest no more than 1 minute in between each set. Usually it's closer to between 30 seconds and 45 seconds. And I feel like I can get an aerobic workout in, or at least, a moderate aerobic workout in if my heart rate is up more. Even if I'm trying to gain size in an off season, I feel like it's healthy and you're able to get cleaner gains when you do have some of that cardiovascular benefit coming in. And I mean, even in the off season, I'll do cardio after each workout as well. It might not be, an hour a day, but it's always in there. But I do feel like a high intensity training program will pay dividends by providing cleaner muscle gains in the future.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk about that. But let's discuss a little bit with your cardio and your dieting.
Sure.
What you've been going through. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. I implement a ketogenic diet during a 16-week prep. I'll start off with low carb for the first couple weeks to sort of help me transition into keto. But then at about 9 weeks out, 10 weeks out, I'll go full ketosis. And that, in layman's terms, means my energy levels are coming from dietary fat. And my carbs are very, very low, about fewer than 10 grams a day. So it's a moderate protein, high fat, but smart fat diet. So the fats are coming from, sources like eggs, fish, some lean ground beef, coconut oil, avocado, those type of things. And that becomes your fuel source for your day, for your workout, for everything. What I like about that diet is you essentially will burn body fat by just existing, because you burn out all of your glycogen stores while you're transitioning into keto. From there, your body sends ketones out, and it tells your brain to basically burn body fat, stored body fat, as energy. So I appreciate the fact that you can. I feel like I can achieve more on that diet than I can with even low carbohydrates.
And what is your cardio at right now?
My cardio right now is at an hour a day. I would prefer to do more cardio and keep my total calories a little bit higher.
Full-time loss.
I tell you what, it's there's a couple aspects of that I actually like to talk about. For starters, it's a niche. It's very much a niche sport. It's very much a sport that a lot of people don't necessarily understand. And so, unfortunately, that means I'm wearing a lot of sweatshirts and just sort of covering up. And in the wintertime, that's okay. But mentally, it might be one of the most exhausting things that you could do. This is going to be my second prep now, going through law school and finals as well. And having about, 150, 200 pages of reading and outlining to do every single night. Add in your meal prep, add in your training, add in your cardio, and you've got a pretty stacked schedule, and it can be burdensome at times, but that's why God invented coffee. And so I know a lot of people try to stay away from the stimulants, the coffees and things like that, but they are part of my diet. I don't know that I would be able to get through everything I need to do without a few cups a day, and I probably drink more than I should, but the coffee is really one of the big benefits for me, at least as energy. Dietary fat only gets me so far. Coffee will get me the rest of the way, but the sleep is probably the one of the toughest things. If you're operating on about 4 hours a night, 4 to 5 hours a night, that can be tough on a prep.
Workouts, I'm sure.
They are. Again, the workouts, they are tough, but that's why I try to emphasize as much efficiency work as I can. So I try to get through. That's why the high intensity lifting, keep my heart rate up, try to get a little bit more of an aerobic workout in as I'm lifting the weights, because you only have a certain set period of time before you're going to burn out, and you're just not going to have the energy to train anymore. So I try to work as efficiently as I can with it.
Yeah, I wanted to go to college, but it would get in the way of my gym goal.
Yeah, that's the thing is there's nothing worth having that isn't hard work. And so being able to balance, and everybody can look at their lives and say, I work, I do this, I do that, and I bodybuild, and I compete in bikini, figure, whatever it is. And that makes it that much more meaningful. No matter how, win, lose, or draw, the fact that you've balanced everything and presented a package that is desirable and a package that you're proud of, then that's a win in itself. So I very much I wouldn't be where I am today without both school and bodybuilding. Great. I'd like to give a couple of thank yous really quick if I can. Number one, obviously I'd like to thank God for giving me the opportunity to not only be healthy enough to train, but the opportunity to meet so many great people like Jeff. And I'd like to thank Jeff for taking his time to come out and train with me today and just go through the workout and talk to me a little bit. I'd like to thank my parents, of course, John and Elizabeth, for being such great folks and understanding that bodybuilding is something I'm interested in, so they support me in that. Jake Brannon, my coach, and my training partner, Brett Lintz. Those are the two guys that got me into this, and I couldn't ask for a better support system. My girlfriend, Christiana Nevis, who competes in bikini, she puts up with me during prep, and I appreciate that. And of course, I want to thank my sponsor, Advanced Muscle Science and Forerunner Labs, for taking an interest in me and providing me with the supplements that I need for my prep now, particularly body mortar branched chain amino acids.
Good deal.
Thank you.